Hey guys, thanks for stopping by my channel today. My name's Tammy. I'm the owner of Walnut Creek Bath Boutique. Recently, I have brought you a couple different liquid soap videos. I have brought you a liquid soap from the Ultimate Guide to Liquid Soap that I purchased. It's an ebook that I purchased. I brought that to you. It's Sunset. I love that soap. And then a while later, I brought to you the Glycerin Method liquid soap that I also purchased. Liquid soap and me, we haven't always gotten along. So I did purchase both of those styles or ways of making liquid soap. So here's just a quick chat about the differences and where I'm going with my business with them. So the Glycerin Method, let's talk about that really quickly. It is easy. It is kind of foolproof, it's pretty much foolproof. You can scale that up and make a huge batch, which I usually do. So you can really scale that up or scale it down, and it's a good just base to have. I like that for just having that, base on the shelf that I can pull. I can add any kind of fragrance or essential oils to it, and then I can package it. I'm bored with it. I'm bored. It's boring. It's just, there's no artistry to it. There's no, other than swapping oils, what is there to do differently? It's just, to me, it's just boring. I've gotten to the point where I kind of dread making it. It's just, it doesn't excite me. It doesn't instill any sort of like artistic outlet. It doesn't have any of that I really like my cold process soap. I get excited about cold process soap. I get excited about the colors and the scents and the swirls, and I get excited with the artistry and visual of cold process soap. I don't get any of that kind of feeling with the Glycerin Method liquid soap. And so that's why I have started doing a lot more of the Ultimate Guide to Liquid Soap. I really feel that I am able to express a little bit of personality into these soaps. It's not boring. It's just not boring. So that's just my take on it, and that is really why I am moving toward the Ultimate Guide to Liquid Soap, and I'm trying my hand at a lot of those recipes because I'm not ready to start really formulating my own liquid soap. It's very intimidating to me. Liquid soap is very intimidating to me to think about trying my own recipe just yet. Like, I have read through that book about 4 times. I recently went back and read through it again, pretty much cover to cover, for about the 4th time. And there's a lot of pages in that book. It's a lot of information. So anyway, that's kind of just wanted to kind of share, because I have brought you both of those liquid soap recipes in the last few months, and I'll probably still make the Glycerin Method, but I probably won't make that big of a batch anymore. Probably more for just a few of my my customer. I have a couple soaps in that line that sell very well, and I don't want to mess up those customers that have been repeatedly buying that soap by changing it. But for my everyday shelf on my website and different things like that, I'm really moving away from that, and I'm really excited. I'm excited about these liquid soap recipes I'm going to be trying. So that in itself is all I need to know. Today's soap I am going to be using from the book Rosemary Mint Bastille. It's a 30-minute high temp liquid soap. Now, the first one I brought to you was the Sunset, and that was also 30-minute high temp. And it did not take me 30 minutes. It took me like 2 days. It took me 2 days. I'm okay with that. I don't care if it takes me 2 days. There was a couple different things I did wrong, and Ashley, the author of the book, actually emailed me and shared with me some tips, and I thought that was super sweet that she did that. One of the things that kept it from being a 30-minute soap is my batch size was just too large. There was too much of it to really do the process in 30 minutes. My concern with that is I don't have just your round crock pot. I have a big 7-quart crock pot, and that's the only one I have. And I don't really want to buy one, or I don't want to go to Goodwill and get one and try to store it. I just have the one crock pot. I'm happy with just having one down here. But a small, like 16-ounce oil weight batch, my stick blender doesn't get submerged in that big crock pot. So I always feel like I have to increase my batch size to accommodate my stick blender. So I'm going to increase my batch size again. I'm okay. Like I said, I'm okay if it takes me longer than 30 minutes. That's really not my goal. My goal has nothing to do with 30 minutes. I just think it was a really pretty soap in the book, and I'm looking forward to it. So don't let my failures or my mistakes keep you from searching out that and maybe purchasing that Ultimate Guide to Liquid Soap. It is an awesome ebook. It is so chock full of information that I don't think you would be disappointed. I don't think you're going to be disappointed at all. So this is a Bastille, so it's castor, coconut, and olive oil. She infused her olive oil with rosemary and mint, and so I'm going to do that too. I've never infused olive oil with either one of those herbs. Guys, I've never actually dyed a liquid soap before. I've always just left it the natural color. Usually it's an amber color. I've never dyed it before, so I'm going to go ahead and dye this one green with some of my green colorant or dye that I have. And I'm really excited. I hope you stay tuned to watch. It may be a disaster. I make no promises. It may be a disaster. This is the first time I'm making it. First try on YouTube. That's me. I'm not afraid to look like a fool, apparently. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, I'm back. It has actually been several days since I was down here taping about this liquid soap. And can we just take a moment and look at that olive oil? Oh my gosh, it is so pretty. You can really smell the rosemary and the mint in the olive oil. I mean, it's not like I think it's gonna, that scent is gonna carry through the whole heating process, but it's just, how lovely is that? So I'm super excited about this. I I almost decided to scrap doubling the recipe and just going down to the 16, because the book does explain and show you how to do this in the microwave, so you don't have to use a crock pot at all. So it's not like I can't make a 16-ounce oil base liquid soap recipe. I guess I just am choosing not to. Again, my goal really isn't the 30-minute thing. That's really not that important to me. So I'm just going to stick with it. I'm just going to double it. I'm sure it's going to take me much longer than 30 minutes, but like I said, if it takes me a day or two, that's no sweat on my back. I don't really care about that, but I'm going to go ahead and get this weight off and heat it up, and I'm going to get all of my additives measured out and get my lies measured out, and so when we come back, we'll just start the process. Okay, I heated my oils in the microwave. Okay, so now that these are hot, I'm going to go ahead and add my additives in, which I have a little bit of sugar. I have some sodium lactate. And I have just a little bit of just soap, unscented soap that I made a while back. And let me check my temperature. It probably cooled down quite a bit. It did. So I have it on high right now. It's 181, so I'm going to bring that back up to temperature, and then when that's up to temperature, I'll get my live water ready. Okay, so here I am, you know, not doing what I'm supposed to do. But it's a Tuesday night. I have to work tomorrow. I'm starting to get tired. What time is it? I don't even know what time it is. It's probably like 7 o'clock or something. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. My oils, when I put them in the crock pot, dropped down to that 181. Then it dropped down to 165. It's now finally back up to about 185. I'm done waiting for this. And I probably should have heated my oils in the microwave to a little bit above that 230 because I knew my crock was cold. It was going to drop the temperature. Anyway, I have my water and glycerin in here, and I have my 2 different lyes in here, and I have my rubber gloves on just because this is going to get hot. And I'm just going to add this a little slow. I'm also going to add some citric acid to this. It's a chelating ingredient. So I know I've tried to explain chelating before and I probably failed at it, but it binds with metal ions and it will keep your soap scum down. And I have hard water. All right, and it goes. And my stick blender, even at doubling the recipe, is barely covering, the oils are barely covering the shaft part. So I'm pretty careful I'm not going to splatter this. Okay guys, hopefully you got to see some of that. That was pretty cool. I've been heating up my dilution water over here. It's not quite as hot as I would like for it to be, but I'm just gonna go with it. And we have a bit, I don't know, my crack won't go any further closer to the middle of my table here. A little bit of soap paste. I'm not sure about that. And you know what I did? I forgot, I'm going to do it real quick. I forgot to dye this. I want this green. I'm going to go get my dye real quick. So I'm going to dye my water, and that will, in turn, help me dye my soap. I don't know how much to add. Like I said, I've never dyed soap before, or my liquid soap, obviously. That looks like a lot. I'm going to add that much, and we'll see how that looks. Very hot. 163. It really should be a little bit warmer, but again, I'm just going to go with this. And I'm going to add half of this in my pot here. And I'm going to cover it. Try to keep it warm. And I'm going to see if I can stick blend it. Alright, that broke up that paste nicely. Now I'm going to add the rest of my liquid soap, or my water. Way too much dye, guys. I need to test this and make sure I'm not going to hurt somebody's wash rags. Alright, we are about there. I did do a zap test on this before I added the liquid soap. Or the water, I keep saying liquid soap, but before I added the water. So now I'm just going to cook it for a little while. I'm done working on it. And really, other than waiting for the oils to heat up, that was pretty quick. That was pretty quick. I put way too much dye in there. I way overdid that. I'm a little bit nervous. This is so much more fun, right? It's more interesting. It's maybe a little bit more nerve-wracking, but that's just because I haven't done it very often. You can't really see the bottom, so you cook it until it's clear, but it's so dark and it is so green, guys. Oh my gosh, I think I made a mistake by adding all that dye. I mean, I'm just in my mind, I'm thinking it's a huge batch. It's really not that big of a batch. So I'm not going to waste it. If I have to make it again and combine it, I'll do that. All right, guys. Honestly, I don't even remember where I left off. But, so here's the thing. I don't think before I act. I just don't. You look cockeyed. I have not figured out my tripod. It's very loose. Anyway, I don't think before I act, right? So I have my soap I made in this jug here, and it is so saturated in, look how green that is. It's ridiculous. And I kind of, when I put that dye in that water, I kind of was like, whew, to myself, but I just poured it in. I just want, you know, it was way too much dye. And what was I thinking? I wasn't thinking. This is so green and so much dye in this, it would probably stain a washcloth. And I actually thought about testing it, but at this point, it's too dark anyway. So what I had to do, I've been working on this forever. I made a whole nother batch and with no color. Now it has a little bit of a green hue to it, and that's because I had like 2 ounces of that olive oil left over that I used in this. So, well, actually, let me show you this. This is a half a batch. So this is another full batch, and this is a half a batch. I did this one first in the microwave. So I tried to do the microwave method that the book talks about, and it volcanoed a lot more than I thought it would, because these 2 didn't volcano. So I don't know. It kind of overfilled my bowl a little bit, but I think it's fine. Ow, I hurt my wrist, sorry. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is just use this as a base and color it with this. So I'm going to mix the 2, basically. I know I have 120 ounces in here, and I want to see how much more I'm putting in here because I haven't preserved this. So I'm going to top this off a little bit, and then I'll come back. I just added 20 ounces in here. And I'm just going to stir this in. It's still going to be darker than I originally wanted it. But that's a lot better. That's a lot better. So at this time, I'm going to basically, I'm going to use this as a base. And I'm just going to make a batch and put 20 ounces of it in my new batch every time. And I think this is a popular enough scent that I won't have trouble selling it. It's still, like I said, it's still quite a bit darker than I wanted it to be, but I'm going to call it a win at this point. I'm just, you know, it's been over a week since I've made this. So to preserve, I realized that my soaps I've been making, I've been preserving wrong. And I did a pH test, and this is 9.5 pH. And my preservative only goes up to 8. I think I was using Liquid Dermal Plus. So I went on Lotion Crafter and I found a preservative that goes up to 12, and it's for soaps and shampoos and different, as long as there's not a huge surfactant base. And this is more water than soap. So this is EUXYL, UXL PE 9010. I'm wondering if my camera may be off. It looks really blurry, but this is what I bought, and this is what I'm going to preserve it with. So this is now 140 ounces, and this is a 0.5% wool, and I need to scent this. So I'm going to go ahead and scent this with my Rosemary and Mint Aveda type from Aztec. I'm going to go ahead and put this right in here. I love it when fragrance oils come with this little flip top. Love that. And I want to make sure I get all of that preservative out of there. And stir it up really well. I don't know if you can see how cloudy it's become. And that's pretty normal when you put a fragrance oil in. It'll cloud it right up. And a lot of times that just kind of settles and clears back in. If it's cloudy like this, I think it's a really pretty, almost a creamy look to it. So I won't be too upset if it stays cloudy like this. Guys, I didn't tell you. So this is my big container that won't fit in the microwave, and I have a bit of a smaller one that will just fit in the microwave, and that's what I melt my butters on in for my soap making. I was heating water and when I was doing the microwave method, and that, I don't know if I can't, let me show you. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but you know, these jugs have this like little center spot, probably where they were manufactured, and that little thing melted, and I was heating my oils up. And I had oil. I make more messes. I had oil all over my floor when I was carrying it over here to the counter before I realized there was a big hole in the bottom of it. I had oil all over my counter. Oh my gosh. You know, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen to me. I'm going to stir this some more. I'm going to package them up, label them, and then I'll just kind of show you at the end what they all look like. Hey everyone, it's been about a week since I was down here, and I have my soap packaged and labeled, and there they are. It is cloudy. You can kind of see when you move it. It's a little cloudy up here. I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with that. That doesn't bother me. I did not thicken this, and I did not realize until I was putting the labels on, thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't add any Crow Thicks or HEC. I think that's it, HEC. I didn't add anything to thicken this. It's plenty thick. All on its own, it's plenty thick. Oh my gosh. I mean, what it is about these recipes, I'm still trying to figure that out. I talked about my charcoal and tea tree. Look at that. Look how gorgeous that is. And I did not thicken this. That is thick. That's the recipe. Super thick. Just gorgeous. And I love the way they wash. The skin feel of these soaps are great too. Here's my Minty Rosemary for the salon. Now I did the Aztec Rosemary Mint fragrance oil for my website. For the salon, I try to do essential oils. So I have rosemary, spearmint, and peppermint. It's really more rosemary forward. It's quite lovely. I like this a lot. But they will smell a little bit different for that reason. I'm super happy with them. I am, again, just loving the recipes in that book. I feel like I'm learning. I feel like I'm fulfilling a bit of a need for me in having something different to do. I get bored really easily. Really, really easily. I get bored, and I'm like this at work. I have to keep learning something new, and I have to keep improving and trying to not do the same thing day in and day out. I get really bored with that. So this book came along just in time. I can't recommend it enough. I'm not getting paid for it, or I don't have like an affiliate or anything like that. That's not what this is. It is just my opinion, and I love, love, love these recipes in this book. I do have a half a gallon of horrendously dark green soap that I am going to have to eventually 10 ounces at a time go through, 10 or 20 until I use it up. Don't let my mistakes shy you away from that. They are my mistakes. So guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, would you please do that? If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you hated it, you can give me a thumbs down. That's okay. And I think that's it. So I'll just see you in the next video. Bye.